Hello, teachers, parents, and educational leaders, and welcome to this episode of Breaking Down the B.E.S.T. Now, during this episode, you will get a peek into the members-only area where I have tons of resources to help you make math fun, make it click, and make it stick. There should be a link somewhere around this video where you can learn more. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to it, and let's break down the standard. Welcome to Breaking Down the B.E.S.T, a video series dedicated to breaking down Florida's B.E.S.T standards for math. So grab something to write with and maybe even a snack. This looks good. And don't forget to put a smile on your face. There you go, I see you. And let's dive into today's B.E.S.T standard. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Sarah McCarthy, the creator of McCarthy Math Academy, and I'm so pumped that you are here joining me on this episode as we break down today's standard, which happens to be MA.4.NSO.2.3. MA stands for Math, 4 for 4th grade, NSO for Number Sense and Operations, and 2.3 is the specific standard for today. Okay, so this standard says that we're going to multiply two whole numbers, each up to 2 digits, including using a standard algorithm with procedural fluency. Okay. We're going to break this down a little bit more, but first I want to point out that I did not create this document. This is a public document created by the Florida Department of Education. This is exactly what I use and what I do when I'm breaking down standards to help create the resources that you'll have access to in your membership with taking on the B.E.S.T resources, which we'll get to. I'll show you how this all applies. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this standard. So it says we're going to multiply, right? Multiplying two whole numbers, each up to 2 digits. So this standard is 2 digits times 2 digits, which is a little bit different than the standard before, NSO.2.2, where it was up to 3 digits times 2 digits. The reason why is we're focusing on a standard algorithm for this one with procedural fluency. This is step 3. This is basically where a student can say, okay, when I have to multiply numbers, here's how I want to do it, and this is my way, and it makes sense of what we're doing. There's a bunch of related benchmarks actually, because this is a multiplication standard, and multiplication has a lot to do with other standards too. Like 4.AR.1.1 is where we're multiplying and dividing word problems. It also relates to 4.M.1.2, which is the measurement conversion standard. 4.M.2.1 is a 2-step problems involving distance and time. And then we have some area and perimeter standards. Basically, it's the area that we're going for here, which would relate to this standard. I am surprised that they did not mention this one, which I'll write down, MA.4.NSO.2.3. Perhaps that's because we've already learned this one, and now it's like after you learn 2.3, what will this knowledge help to relate to in other standards? But the MA.4.NSO.2.2 standard, just to remind you, is where we have up to 3 digits times 2 digits. Okay, with procedural reliability. So the standard we're looking at today is kind of one step up. It's with more mastery, more understanding. Let's talk about some terms from the K through 12 glossary. Expression here means that there's no equal sign present. If we have an equal sign present, it means that we have an equation. That's the only difference. With a factor, that's what we're multiplying by. The factor times the factor equals a product. And where are they coming from? In 3rd grade, we've done lots of multiplication and division with factors up to 12. In 5th grade, we'll be multiplying using standard algorithm, but we will not have any limits, except that we're multiplying whole numbers for this one. All right, now for the purpose and instructional strategies section, here's some of the things that jumped out at me. It says here that the purpose is for students to become procedurally fluent using a standard algorithm. It means that we're using this accurately and reliably. It's important to challenge students to explain the steps that follow. So making sure that if they are using the standard algorithm presented in the Taking on the Best videos, that they're showing how to regroup and to record the placement of the digits by place value, that they have an understanding of that. This one here, I put a little star here because it says that some students may struggle with this benchmark if they do not have a strong command of basic addition and multiplication facts, which is true. That's kind of a no-brainer there. There's a lot of, a student could be very successful in 3rd grade and then not do as well in 4th grade because of this. That fluency is important. So if you have 4th graders that are not strong, they don't have a strong command of that, please provide them with opportunities to master that, because it's huge, and that's the game changer. Here are some examples that they gave for an instructional task and instructional items. This says that I just jotted down a note here that yield in this case meant to create or generate. So using those numbers to create or generate the greatest product. And then for this one, I circled A because I think students would look at this and say, oh, it's A, and then not really look through all of them. So encouraging them with multi-select questions like this to go through and solve all of them to see if it would have a value of 480 in this case. All right, I think that's good for breaking down the standard. So now we know what we have to do, what our students are going to be required to do, but let's see what resources you have at your fingertips. Okay, so here's the home page. You know, you can enter here at the tab or down here. Members enter here. Let's look at Taking on the Best. Which grade? 4th grade. Which strand? Still in NSO. And we're scrolling down to MA.4.NSO.2.3, which is multiplying whole numbers using a standard algorithm. If we click that, here are the bronze resources that you have available if you have a bronze membership, a silver membership, or a gold membership. There's 2 video lessons for the bronze resources, and there's 2 printable student guides. So this one is 2 digits times 1 digit using standard algorithm. And this one is 2 digits times 2 digits using standard algorithm. That's what it calls for here. I'm going to click on the printable resource. You can tell it is a video lesson printable because of the icon right there. And you can see that we connect the whole point of estimation first before we solve, and then we actually go into the standard algorithm down here. Now, this is a video lesson to introduce the concept, but I know that students will need extra practice with this, which is why if you have the silver plan, you have access to those printables. Here for the silver resource, you do have access to the bronze, like I said, and you also have access to extra printables, the answer keys for those, and this math misconception mystery video. Here's the video lesson. You can see if you scroll down, you have the extra practice that goes along with that lesson, 2 pages of extra practice. Then the next video lesson with 2 pages of extra practice. And then you have your math mission, which is a math task. And it says to arrange these cards so that it will have a product that's greater than 2,600. And then a part 2 right there, explaining how somebody is incorrect. So you can see these math missions, they work within the complexity of the standard, but they bump it up. So you've used the video lessons to introduce the skills. If you have the silver plan, you can then use the extra practice pages to make sure that they've mastered the content, and then they have the more challenging, more critical thinking problems with the math missions. You also have access to the math misconception mystery. I just scrolled down from that, by the way. I don't know why I clicked that page over there. Just scroll down. The problem for this episode is, what is the product of 24 and 69? So for the math misconception mystery videos, you have 4 characters who solve the problem. 3 of those characters make a mistake. 1 character solves it correctly, and it's a great way to analyze errors and promote math discourse in your class. They fill this detective report out saying who solved it correctly and why. And then with the other 3, what did they do that was correct? What was their error? And what do they need to know for next time? Super fun. The students definitely love those. And this is where you can find the episode and full screen it for them. And finally, if you have the gold plan, that means that you have the whole package, and I'll show you what you have there. So you have the bronze resources, the silver resources. You also have the 2 differences here are that you have the mini assessment and McCarthy Math 155 videos. This breaking down the B.E.S.T for teachers is this video that you're watching right now is also available on other platforms here. It's just ad-free, and it's just right there for you with the gold package. But there are other ways that you can watch these videos. The big thing is the mini assessment, and more particularly the McCarthy Math 155. So here's a copy of what the mini assessment looks like for the standard. Okay, you can take a look at that. And you have your answer key, and then you have access to McCarthy Math 155 with the gold. So for this particular standard, remember that McCarthy Math 155 is aligned to the Common Core standard. So not everything transfers over for the B.E.S.T, hence the whole creation of taking on the B.E.S.T, but there are some. And for this standard, you could, if you went to multiplication at Unit 3, and you scroll down, day 30, day 31, wouldn't say day 32 because that's 4 digits times 1 digit, but I would use day 33, day 34, day 35, and these kind of go with the standard before 2.2. So you have the video, you have the extra practice there. That is the whole reason why you got the gold resources was basically for that McCarthy Math 155. Okay, so you have access to all of that. All right, so we broke down the standard. You see what you have access to based on your membership. And I think that's a wrap for today. I hope that this video helped you to understand the standard better. And before we go, I just want to remind you that what you wake up and you do every day with your life as a teacher, it really does matter. Our students, they are the future. They are the future leaders, the future world changers, and we have the most wonderful job of helping to shape and mold their minds and to help them encourage them on their journey to stepping into the person that they were born to be, stepping into their greatness and taking on the best version of themselves. So thank you so much for all that you do. I love being able to support you. It truly is an honor, and you are just a rock star. So thank you for all that you do. If nobody said anything to you that you're a rock star, here's my way of saying you rock. All right, I know you've got a lot of stuff to do, so I'll let you go, but thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, so I know that I just said goodbye for now, but I'm gonna ask you to do one more thing, okay? If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with your teacher friends or other leaders in education. That's how I get to continue doing what I love to do, which of course is supporting you all to the best of my ability. All right, for real now. Bye.